of Ohio breathes a sigh of relief because he was on the bubble. Now he'll bowl.
Here's two men that love to win, and they are very demonstrative. This could be a great match.
Yeah, baby. That's the way to do it. 10 like that. Come on.
So the pep talk and the psyching has begun. And here's the champion, Pete Weber. 19 titles. He is one of 3 Triple Crown champions.
The half 10, not a bad start. Peter really hasn't thrown a ball in a championship round for almost a year. You look at his style, very quickly through it. He throws the ball straight on through that big arc. Now he's after the 10.
Almost with a vengeance, he gets rid of the 10. That's Pete.
I can say that there is no love lost between these two players on the lanes. They have a lot of fun together off the lanes, but they are serious cats out there in the championship and a lot of money at stake.
Now he's turned on. Pete Weber and Bob Vespi.
Pins showing a little resistance to these powerful balls as both Vespi and Weber lead the soft 10 on the right-hand lane.
This is for the championship. 43,000 to the winner, the runner-up 22.
Think now, come on. What are you doing?
Well, there are no boards in synthetic lanes as you see the ball drifting high of Bob Vespi, but if we were talking boards, most bowling centers sport 39 boards that across the lane. He'd have missed about 4 or 5 left of target there, so he walks away with a pretty easy spare. At least he has a reprieve, the 3-6. Come on. You see both players wiping off both oil and water. There's oil from the front part of the lane, and the players have reported some of that is water from the back part. We cleaned the lanes about 15 minutes before the air time, and on these synthetic lanes, I believe there was not enough evaporation, so that's reported a combination of oil and water on the balls.
You tell him, Pete. Kim Weber, on tour full-time with her husband, Pete, has a well-defined role that makes her happy.
Well, Pete does his thing out on the lanes, and I do my thing. I do some accounting out here that keeps me real busy all year long, and it involves me with the players. And as far as Pete's bowling, I really don't say too much. That's his job out there. I just am out here to lend him support and encouragement.
You do it.
Next to John Dowdy. Lovely young lady we've known a long time.
Pleasant reaction by Kim Weber on the back-to-back solid 10s by Peter. However, Peter doesn't like this as he tries to stare down the 10. Ooh.
Meanwhile, his mother, Juanita, and her husband, Dick Weber, are in the Baton Rouge area for the WIBC. That is Juanita. Yes, we welcome Max Burdick, Vice President Special Events, Children's Miracle Network, the organization that the PBA is so proud to help support. Max, just back from Disney World, where he worked with their spokesperson, Marie Osmond. Now Bob Vespi. Spare up shooting in the fourth frame. Coming into that shot, these two pros in the championship match were 1 pin apart. Well, see, 2 pins left here. It's the 3-10. We'll pick up a tip if Bob makes it here. Look how he does it. Not the way. So it's an open frame and disaster early. Now he trails by 14. But calmly, now watch him. He'll come back. He's over in the left lane. Pete Weber looking totally away. Looking off toward Bo. Okay. So let's go to Bo.
Well, Chris Schenkel at the King of the Hill, Del Ballard. Del, last week you're all pumped up. You won the U.S. Open and went out there and just crushed him in the King of the Hill match. However, last night you missed the show with a very disappointing final game. Does that change your attitude for today's match?
Not a bit. I think it's going to help me out because I was really upset about last night, and I've been down on myself about it, and I'm going to get my 4 or 5 grand back today.
All right, a very confident King. Back to you, Chris.
He needed a strike. Spare up. He leaves the 4 pin. Single pin spares now. He's had 4. 3 10s and this 4 on the right lane. Pete always does well if he doesn't get down on himself. Took his time, and remarkable young man, 30 years old. This bowling series is 32 years old, so Pete wasn't born when we began in 1962. Coming up next on Wide World of Sports, world-class athletes meet in Cancun for the finals of the Jeep Superstars, plus the Run for the Roses only 2 weeks away from today. Kentucky Derby hopefuls take off in the Wood Memorial Invitational in New York. That's live. And a look at a hockey sensation, Mario Lemieux. And it is the 4th 10.
Weber, good. Talking to the pins, he says, I didn't mean to hit the pocket like I was supposed to, but he's got a 12-pin lead and an easy spare. Asking about the pin placement. Is the pin far enough back? Now, if the machine moved that pin over when it picked it up and reset it, it shall be reset. If not, by the natural action of the ball and pin action, it stays where it is right now. Actually easier right there.
Coming over to make the decision was Johnny Campos. He and his wife Janine, proud parents of a baby boy yesterday. That's right, Adrian Juan, to go along with baby Amanda.
Mr. Strike up to close the gap.
Now a 22-pin lead.
Weber has not had a good break in this match. Vespi has carried every time he hit the pocket, but once can take the lead here in the 7th with a 3rd consecutive strike.
Come on now.
And for Bob Vespi, second single pin spare, both 10s. Had a 3-10, he missed.
Spares are an adventure for Vespi. He lives by the strike ball.
Okay, this week's trophy landed in downtown Toronto.
Firestone Tournament of Champions on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour next Saturday.
Yes, a year ago, Mark McDowell was the Firestone champion. $300,000. All winners in the field, Bo. Firestone Tournament of Champions.
Third jewel of the Triple Crown. It's the best. This man knows what it's like to win all those events. And right now, he's leading the inaugural tournament in Toronto.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10.
Well, that was really an ugly 10-pin. Weber pulling the ball inside his strike line and had no angle of attack on the pocket. Almost leads to 5-10. He barely tilted that 5 out. That would have been quite an embarrassing moment.
You know, a big game in this area is 5 pins.
I have played the 5 pins, Chris. They're played with a small ball, and it's a tough game. You can get 0 and still throw the ball in the field of play. Now for Pete Weber, he's wiping off the ball. We said there was oil and water. Reports from the lane men said the oil is from the front part of the lane. The water is from a lane cloth that cleans the ball after it hits the pins, so should have no effect on the shot.
That is only his second strike, ladies and gentlemen, in 8 frames. They're going toe-to-toe, slugging it out. At the lightweight limit of 135 pounds, Pete Weber. At 170, that's a little over the middleweight. These two are punching it out on the bowling lanes.
Vespi, who covers a lot of boards on the lanes, will start on the left side of the approach because he plays the big hook. He'll slide in this arrow, and actually he's playing a gutter shot. He'll release the ball and be out around the first arrow and extend way on down, almost near the edge. He needs a strike to take the lead.
If that one don't strike, nothing will.
These two pros are bowling for $65,000. 43 to the winner, and a chance to go against the King of the Hill and pick up 5 more, Shell Ballard, or 22 runner-up.
Another power player, but Weber is going to drift a little bit more to this angle. He'll be right around the center with a little loft in this area. 9th frame key shot. Way off mark with that shot, just almost straight at the head pin.
Pete's last win was the Touring Players last year in Indianapolis, and Vespi's last win was at Tucson in 1992.
Situation for Pete Weber. If he strikes 3 times in the 10th frame, he would take a 2-pin lead and force Vespi to strike. It's all up for grabs in the final frame. Championship match. That one forces Vespi to mark. The next one would force Vespi to strike.
Put on by Weber on Vespi.
Weber needs a good count. 8, 9, or 10 forces Bob Vespi to strike on the first ball, the 10th frame. This is the title match.
What a finish.
Well, Bob Vespi's going to see what he's made of. I think he's a tough player to be around for a long time. However, this would tremendously bolster his confidence. He needs a strike to win. Weber wins title number 20.
It's a 10-pin that plagued Weber, and now the 10-pin has come back to plague Vespi.
Ooh, Chris Webber's 20th title. Listen to these names he joins with 20 titles. Albee, Richter, Holman, Johnson, his dad, Webber, Ross, and Anthony.
Wow. Final score in a moment, but ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour.